Hello and welcome back to IT Performance YouTube channel. Today I have a little bit of a surprise, and it's been a long time coming, but unfortunately it is going to have to wait for a little bit longer. The end result. I received an item in during one of my videos, and I started to unwrap it, but I left it unwrapped, and I ended up putting it on my shelf, so it's been in the background of a couple of my other videos. But I thought I would, I've got almost everything else I need. And so the item that I got was this. It's a water block for my CPU, for my motherboard, for my CPU, for my motherboard. But it's a full cover block, and that is it. And I was actually quite surprised at how heavy it is. Look, it's still unopened, and I got that back before Christmas, so 5 months ago, still unopened. So here we go, first time opening it. So it's a bit of an unboxing as well. Now this thing is to cover my VRMs as well. I believe it's the VRMs on the motherboard. And it is a heavy sucker. I had no idea how heavy these were. Here are the kitchen scales. So let's turn it on, have it 0, and put it on there. 619 grams. That is one heavy bit of hardware that goes on, sticks onto your motherboard. So there is that. And of course RGB. Now that box came with an initial RGB strip. Now I'm not exactly sure where exactly that's going to go. Or where it can go. It will need to come directly off the motherboard. And of course it comes with the old thermal paste, some screws and some washers, and a little Allen key to do up the screws. Put that on the side for later. So that's the block. Now, as of this time, EK do not do a water block for my video card. So that's a bit of a pain. One of the other water block makers does, so I may have to just buy one from somewhere else if I want to water cool my video card as well. But I just want to get the CPU done at the moment, so that'll do that. And I have the rest of the bits and pieces. So some pipe, some tubing. Now I've gone RGB mad, because even the fans that I've gotten for the radiator, both sides, are RGB fans. So Man, this is going to be a cabling nightmare. So one of those is for the controller, PRM, and the other one is for the RGB. I'm going to need a small nuclear power supply to provide all the power. So that's 2 at this stage. To cool that, I have just gone with the 240 slim and two fans. I figure hopefully there will be enough room in the case to put, or there will definitely be one in the back, put a single slot radiator and fan in the back and join it all into the same loop for later on when I get one for the video card. So there we go. I can see that. I was actually quite surprised. So there's an in and out. So there's the radiator, all the bits and pieces that I need. So there's that, there's the tubing. So at this stage, all I'm doing is the CPU and motherboard, and these are all the bits that you need for a custom loop just to do that. And some tubing. Now I have decided that should be enough tubing. Certainly hope it's going to be enough. I've decided to go blood red. Mainly because at the moment that's the colour on my RAM sticks, and they're not RGB, so I can't change that colour. So I figured at this stage we'll go red. We can always drain it and change colour later. So this one here. So to do them up, in the middle is a big bloody Allen key. Now hopefully I have one big enough and an Allen key that's the right size as well. Look, there's one here. I wonder if that's the right size. And yes, yes it is. So they are used in there and in the radiator and the other bits and pieces that you want to connect up. And the other end, and the way they work, obviously, is that goes on there. That gets pushed up over there, and then that to the very bottom, and then that gets screwed on to tighten it up. And that's really hard to get off. I did a test just before, and to be fair, I had to cut the end off and then split the tubing to get that off. So I would say you could probably get away without that, but as a safety precaution, I'd always recommend you have them on. I have the bit here. I had the bit here, probably threw it. Threw it away. Okay, what else do we have? We have a SATA pump tower, so you can test the pump, test the whole system off the SATA without it being plugged in. A filler bottle. Now I thought it might come in handy, and I thought while I'm spending all the other money, I may as well pay for it. Okay, This is a PMR PWM Y splitter for the two fans so we can power the fans and get them running at specific speeds, control the speeds of the fan. Okay, very important, an RGB splitter that plugs into the RGB header on the motherboard and then up to the RGB devices. Now the RGB header is at the bottom, just above the power supply, and everything that I'm going to have to put RGB to is either at the top of the motherboard or in the front of the case, because I'm planning on putting the radiator with the fans at the front of the case. So that's going to need some cable management. A power supply turner oner. So I have a spare power supply that I will use to do a test run of the parts and everything. So I can test it outside of the case before I put it into my case. The other thing is, apparently it's a good idea to cycle water for about 24 hours through it, just in case there's anything left in the blocks or the radiator from when it was manufactured. Okay, so one thing that I'm planning on doing, if you can envision this, is a drain port. So here are some extra bits and pieces that I got. One of which is a Y splitter. A stop. A couple of 45-degree bends. Now, I'm planning on using them actually on there. So that screws into there, and that screws on to there. Probably do it the other way around. And that just gives a couple of nice bends coming off there, going to the radiator. Now, from off the pump, I'll say this now, I don't have the bloody pump and the reservoir. Sorry, I don't have the pump and the reservoir. I ordered that before I ordered that, the block, last year, Christmas. I ordered the pump and the reservoir at the end of March, but I didn't put it on any tracking and the cheapest courier. I then ordered everything else in one big lump, and I did that on DHL courier, and it got here, I kid you not, I ordered it on Thursday and it arrived on the Monday. So I highly recommend. $30 tracking and the speed, highly recommend it. So the plan is to put a drain on using this Y section. So that'll go to the CPU block. That'll go to the radiator. Then from the pump, that'll go to CPU. That will have a length of pipe. Just long enough so I can tuck it inside the case and then bring it out outside of the case, because then at the other end of the pipe I can have this little stopper, and the stopper, when I need to drain it, just took it out of the case, undo the stopper, and everything just comes out, drains out. That's the plan anyway. Sounds like a good plan to me. We'll see how it goes. Okay, well, this has been an interesting set of filming exercises with my phone overheating and having to I ended up getting a different new tripod. Yeah. All right, now we just have to wait for the pump, pump, and then the fun starts. Okay, thanks for watching. Come back and watch the next one when it's up. Okay, cheers, bye. Through the use of a rather large Allen key, which, okay, let's see how this goes. A bit more of an angle,